I'm not rotating this device back. So if I rotate it that way, then it's going to say rotate it this way. Okay, so if I rotate it this way, it's going to say rotate it that way. So what do they want from me? They want it that way? How they want it this way? God, they don't know what they want from me. Okay, I guess I'm officially live. Hi. Somebody asked, well, how do I know when I'm going live? These days, I don't know when I'm going live because it may be pre-recorded and then it may not because sometimes I'm just using you all. Okay, so I just got back in my car. Hey, you guys, is there anything you want me to talk about? I don't know if I'll keep this one up because I don't even know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to give some people a chance to log in, and then if you want to ask me a question, I'll answer it, but I'll just start talking. Hey. So today, I just left an event that one of my clients invited me to, and remember I told you all about Uber. So this was an Uber event, and I was able to do my networking. And networking is super important because that's how you get your opportunities. Funny thing is, I came to talk to them to see who I need to talk to about a big important project I want to do in Q1, and I ended up having all these people around me asking what my name was to follow me online and asking what appointments I had available. And you know, my goal right now in my career is not really necessarily around building clientele. I've already conquered that. I know how to do that with no problem. So that wasn't even my reason for being there. My reason for being there was doing something on another level. Just goes to show you how when you learn how to network, or when you really take time and have a strategy in building and knowing what you're doing, big things will happen. It's to the point now, like even when I went to go do that protest, and they were like, I was just on there, you know, advocating and just teaching people. They were like, well, what's your Instagram? And we can send these people to you. I knew that clientele that was going to that discount salon was not a good fit for me personally. So I simply said, oh, my books are closed, but you can go to this salon, that salon, this salon, that salon. You want your business to that point where you don't even, you're picky about who you even give your information to. That's what you want to get to. So if you all go back and watch, and I might erase one of them because it got really kind of volatile, but that's how you want your business to be, to a point where you're picky and you're like, I'm not taking people, even though you may be, but just a few. You're selective. Okay. So tonight I came out to kick it with her because this is like one of my regulars and we have become cool. And she was like, you need to come because there's some people you need to talk to. And you know, you always say you want to get out. So I came out, and sure enough, I met the people that I wanted to meet. And it was funny because it turned into like a little business meeting. But I'm always, even though I came out to have fun, I'm always ready to be on point. So I did like when you have your chance to do your pitch, you got to be ready to do your pitch. You know, you cannot be afraid to talk to people. So I started mingling around the room, and I'm just like this period when I'm out, but it actually opened up the gate because what I learned is that a lot of people that I was just talking to ended up being some of the right people. So when she introduced me to the one person she wanted to introduce me with, they were already pointing at each other like, you know, so it was already done. It was already like, when we get back in the office, such. That's how you want to learn how to network. You have to know what you're doing. You cannot be out here trying to be an entrepreneur all willy-nilly. Although I came out to have fun, my friend / client knew what I was planning on trying to do. And it was funny because I came out, and I'm not going to speak too much publicly about the things I overheard in this party because it was a closed private event. But I learned a lot is what I'm going to say. So they gave me some different strategies, and how I need to proceed with what I'm trying to do. And we're going to talk further on it and set some meetings up, some pre-meetings, and then we're going to, you know, move it on up to the big people. So all of this, I'm saying all of this to say that it's important to understand how to run a business. Running a business in the beauty industry, especially when you try to scale your business to other areas or try to tweak it or do something a little different, you got to have a strategy on how you're going to get there. You really got to have a strategy. So this was part of my strategy. This is something I've been talking about for a minute. This is something I've been thinking about for about 4 months. This is something I really started talking about because I want to introduce and do my initial presentation in January. And here it is, end of November, and I'm meeting the people that are starting to set up the preliminary meetings for what I'm trying to do. So that is very important, you guys. So I said, I'm going to go live or whatever, because I went there for one thing and I accomplished it, but it ended up being appointments too. It straight up did. It ended up being appointments. So that's just so funny. Once you master how to run your business, you will have so much business coming towards you. You will be picky and selective in who you take. Like I told you last week, I had 2 things that were presented to me and I was just like, they're not a good fit. You want to get to that point. That is your sole purpose and goal in this. You want to get to a point where you have more than enough business coming your way and you can select when you want to do people, how you want to do people. So hello everyone. Please, if you're here, say hi. My last day of nail tech school is this Saturday and I just found your channel 3 weeks ago. And let me tell you, you've helped me so much in just 3 weeks. Yes, I hope so. Do you have the challenge? Because you said you're finishing school. So this is the perfect time. No, you said it's your last day of school and you found my channel 3 weeks ago and you're finishing school. So have you set up everything to get your business started? Not just, oh, I got a few people that I do. Have you set up your business? Tell me that. Have you set up your business? Because doing some people here or there is one component of it, but have you set up your business? If not, check out the book because it's going to give you step-by-step weekly goals on how to set up your business and how to understand how you need to structure your business. So that's congratulations to you. I remember those school days or whatever. Believe it or not, now is the real learning process. The real learning process starts now. This is when you're gonna this is when you're really about to start learning about the industry. School teaches you the very basics. When you get out here in the real world, a lot of things that you think you know, you're gonna have to unlearn them. But you'll learn by bumping your head a little bit or just other nail techs telling you like, you know, and that's the good thing. So I want you to, first of all, definitely congratulations, but I definitely want you to keep an open mind. And even if there are people who present things to you in a way that you do not like, I still want you to keep an open enough mind to listen to what they have to say. Because some of the most talented people in this industry, believe it or not, are not the nicest people. But if they give you some advice, think about it before you just dismiss what they're trying to say because you don't like their personality, okay? It's just part of it. And like I tell people all the time, people in this industry are weird. We're artists, and you have a lot of cocky people and a lot of strange people. But before you dismiss anything, if you get you're going to have some incidents, you're going to be like, what? Just sit back and see if there is anything you could take from the advice or, where am I? From the advice or from the situation before you just completely shut them down. That's my one piece of advice, because school is the basics, but the real learning opportunity starts in the field, okay? So congratulations. Here's another thing too. That's why I want you to keep watching every channel, every message. Have a plan. Goes back to my first one. Because people are gung-ho and they think that license is another magical tool that's just gonna make it where they don't ever have to do anything again in life but nails. And it's a journey to becoming a professional licensed individual who does this full time for some people. It doesn't happen overnight for hardly anybody I know. So have a contingency plan. Okay, I was about to be going up the wrong. No, I can go this way. Have a contingency plan and also have maybe backup means of financial support until you get things to where they need to be, okay? So congratulations. I love to hear when people get their license, because there's so many of us flying up under the radar. I did it myself for a long time back then. Excuse me, I'm such a lady. I did it for a long time myself back in the day. But nowadays, I wouldn't suggest it, because social media is around. See, back in the day, it's way easier to get people in trouble. It's way easier to catch up with people. So, you know, I'm glad you did that. Erica said she got her EIN for her business. So that's her employer identification number. Her EIN is her employer identification number. Great job. That is something that is free to get. It is something it's basically, if I'm not mistaken, that's your tax ID number. So that allows you to, don't mistake that EIN number for making your business a business, okay? EIN number is employer identification number. It allows you to, it deals with your taxes, but it does not necessarily, it doesn't incorporate you or anything like that. So that's different from gaining a LLC or, you know, S Corp, C Corp partnership, but that is something you definitely want to have, you know, as you go on with it. If you're going to do that, then you need to definitely claim a business entity. You can stay a sole proprietorship if you want to. But depending on what you're planning on doing with your business, you might want to come out of sole proprietorship and at least do a LLC, which does cost money. So just keep that in mind. But congratulations, because these are all the important steps you might want to take. EIN number is not necessary. It just depends. But that's good. You obviously have something in mind. I'm getting my policy together, and I'll be accepting clients soon. So when you're saying that, it's making me think that you need, okay, she said, oh no, I still need my license in LLC. Okay, I was about to say, because EIN is kind of out of order if you don't have the other thing. That's actually out of order. But it's good to have, and certain things you might want to purchase or whatever, you can go and buy in bulk with that EIN number, because it's a tax ID number. So you don't have to pay taxes on it. So that's what that's good for right now. Hold on, I'm trying to get on this expressway. Hold on. Hold on, you guys, hold on. Ah! Hold on, hold on. You got your seatbelt on? Oh, these people so aggressive out here. They're so aggressive, ain't going no damn well. Half of them don't have insurance. Okay. No, in my little kid voice. I'm gonna get your book. I need to get on the ASAP. I'm trying to go around this curve. I can't read all that while I'm driving around this curve. I'm gonna go back and listen to it. Okay. Thank you for that wonderful advice. Yes, just, you know, I just like to tell people all the, you know, I don't want people to bump their heads unnecessarily. So that's a good thing, but there's some things that are, to me, a little bit more important, but it does have significance. License being first, then business entity. So claiming a business structure and EIN, those two go hand in hand, but EIN is pretty easy to get. You could do it online. Business license is usually, that's where the fees come in, $250, $500, $1,000, just depending on where you are. And sometimes, depending on where you are, you might have to go in and actually do that in person or whatever. But it depends on where you are. You don't need all of that just to starting out, though, to be honest with you, doing clients. You only need your license. Hold on. How do I use it to buy? Wait, how do I use it to buy in bulk? Oh my God. For nails, that's why I said an EIN number is really like, you can use it for tax exemption. So EIN, I don't know how you would use it for nails, because some places may allow you to use it where you won't pay taxes or whatever, because you're saying it is for business purposes, or you're buying something and you're gonna resell it. So I mean, I don't know. That's really your tax. That's what it is. It's an employer identification number. So it's just something to kind of keep track of what you're spending. And you really, that's why I said you got that, but you really are not going to necessarily use that unless you had some special plans or purposes for it. EIN in the past I've used in my other businesses, like to purchase goods to sell, like purses and stuff. I would go up north, up here, and I would buy things in bulk, like 12 of these, 12 of that, a dozen of this, half dozen of that. And then, you know, I would show them, they always ask for that paperwork, and then I would get it at the wholesale price. And then I wouldn't pay, you know, taxes on it because it was for resale. But the thing of it is like I'm buying this in bulk. So I'm saying, okay, I'm buying this much inventory to sell, and they're going to report that under my EIN number, saying these are the EIN numbers we sold to, and this is how much we sold to this person under this EIN, and they're saying that this is how much they're doing in resale tax. So that can come back and bite you in the future, because if you're constantly using that EIN number and going to Sam's Club and Walmart and all this stuff, and you're getting all this stuff, but you never report any taxes or any sales or anything, then that's a red flag for the IRS. And so don't think that that EIN number is for you, baby. It's a tracking number for the IRS to see what the hell you doing. Okay? It's to see what you doing. So it helps you in the beginning, but it can trip you up over time if you're using the hell out of that EIN number, but you're not claiming any type of business with that EIN number. It looks like you're doing some fraudulent stuff, which that rarely happens when people get caught up on that. But I do believe that that is something that will trigger you to come up under the IRS radar, if that makes sense. I'm not a tax professional at all. I hate dealing with stuff like that. I actually don't, whatever you tell me to do, that's because I don't really like that type of stuff. But I've had to learn things over the years because I bumped my head so many times and was doing things out of order and not just doing stuff just to be doing it because it sounded good, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And now over time, I kind of get how it all goes together. So, yeah. EIN number is really good for purchasing things. And then also, if you were to get employees, don't come over on me just because you got flashing lights. Let me go past him. Well, I guess I should have let him over, huh? He's the police. Anyway, EIN number is also when you want to put yourself on payroll. I discussed that in that book where we talk about payroll and stuff. So the company I give you, they will want your EIN number because that's how they're going to report the income that you're reporting to them and the paychecks that they're cutting to you. EIN number is used a lot of different ways. It's really just a tracking number connected to your business for them to track what you say versus what you do. Okay? EIN number is used a lot of different ways. There's no one way an EIN number is used. Yeah. If you get employees and you want to pay these people, you'll put them on payroll. There are systems that will do that for you, and they're going to want to know your EIN number because then you come up under that roster, and it's like, well, is this person compliant with XYZ because they're using this EIN to do XYZ? So we're going to make sure that while they're doing XYZ, have they done ABC? It's really a way to put yourself on the radar. So really understand if you're going to be using that EIN number that you know everything that comes along with using that EIN number. Ask a tax professional or ask an accountant, or go to the website where you applied and just take time to read the fine print. A lot of people just don't, they skip by all that stuff, and that's something I used to do a lot. And lately, in the past 4 to 5 years, I've been taking time to read stuff. You know how we'll go on a site to do something and it'll be like these long paragraphs, and you just get to scroll like whatever, click the box, say I acknowledge and sign it, and then something happens, you're like, I didn't know it was in there. We just scroll past a lot of this stuff. So if you don't want to read it word for word, at least take time to read the first 2 or 3 sentences of every paragraph when you sign it and trying to get stuff. And if something sparks your attention, that's the paragraph you need to read fully. And that's something I've been doing making myself do over the years, and that's how I've been learning a lot of stuff. A lot of this stuff I tell you all is self-taught, but most people won't use Google And most people just don't like to read. I said that as a marketing professional. You got to be clear and concise because people do not like to read. But as a business owner, before you get to signing your name on stuff, you better read. Shoot. When I first opened my big salon, I was so overwhelmed. The merchant processor credit card guy came in to talk to me. He had a meeting with me. And I think I remember setting up a meeting, but I was so overwhelmed with trying to get this business open by a certain date that I just kind of blew him off. And I remember kind of even being rude to him a little bit because I was so overwhelmed. I think I was having terrible anxiety doing all that by myself. And I remember saying to him something like, just give me one and just let me sign it. Something like that. And he looked at me. He was like, okay. And he wrote up that paperwork real quick. I'm like, what do I sign? You know, like, get basically like going on somewhere. I got more important stuff to do. And man, do you know that man signed me up for the most premium package? It was good to a certain extent because I had gift cards made with my logo and stuff on it. You know, so that worked out. But the price I was paying, Lord have mercy. And then when I tried to get out of that lease some years later, it was impossible to get out that lease with that machine because while I didn't take time to want to hear the details of it, he said, okay, I'll sign your ass up, all right. And I can't even be mad at him because I would have did the same thing as a salesperson. Yeah, so little lessons like that have taught me to try to read at least some of the fine print when I'm signing off on important documents and stuff. Yeah. So, yeah, that's it. And then I just had a wonderful conversation with one of the ladies in the corporate office because this was an Uber corporate event. It wasn't Uber drivers. It was the corporate. That's why I needed to go. And just having a deep conversation about elevation and how, you know, same thing I talked about in my last live, how you're going to have to let go of certain people and get focused. And when you're trying to elevate and do something and shift in your life, you're going to find that everybody can't go with you, sort of thing. So we were having a deep conversation on that, and it's crazy. I said, you know, some people around you might not even understand this conversation because they're comfortable in their uncomfortable space. So a lot of us don't move out that comfortable space, even though we're not comfortable in it. We're not accomplishing nothing we really want to do with ourselves, but we're scared. And she was just like, we were really vibing. And I'm not going to say too much about that online, but it's funny because that's how I know the things I say is not just me talking to you. In my experiences, I keep running into people who are having the same experiences and they don't understand it. So I had to give her my little words of wisdom. And I just, you know, told her some things. She was like, wow, oh my God, I told her. I'm like, I don't know if you get it. She's like, oh, I get it, you know, whatever. And she was like, I hope you don't mind. But, and this is actually my client's boss saying this to me. She's like, I hope you don't mind, but you're like my big sister now. I'm like, I got a lot of people saying it. I'm just trying to share what I know. I just told her too, just like the title of that last video, I said, let me tell you something. This is what has hit me. We got a lot of people in the wrong roles. You're going to have to probably sometimes you got to let go of that best friend. You got to let go of that favorite cousin. You gotta let go of that, you know, shoot, it could be aunt, mama, daddy who just hold you, whoever hold you down or don't get it or just got their foot on your neck, you know. So I went to that whole thing with her. And that kind of she doesn't know it, but she gave me some comfort because it lets me know that the message that I'm putting out here is not something that I personally feel and have gone through. Other people go through the same thing. And so I believe in God. So to me, it's like God works in mysterious ways because I need to draw from strength in other places too. While I'm trying to be a blessing or a message to other people, God is still working to send people my way to tell me that my message, I'm going in the right direction. I don't know if that makes sense, but sometimes I need reaffirmations that I'm giving the right message out and that is legit, you know? So, yeah. So I'm almost home. You know I'm using you guys. I've been getting outside way more, and that's funny because I'm meeting a whole new group of people, and I've been kind of shifting myself, shifting my energy, shifting my look. I've been working on just everything, trying to work on everything about me so I can attract different people and different energy into my life. And it's funny because now a lot of that oldness that used to come around me, I literally, my energy goes neutral, or I just kind of shut down around those people because I'm not even, the old me would have been like open to receiving everybody, but nowadays it's like a lot of that old energy won't even come around me no more. And for some people, it may come off as you think you better, or you act different, you act funny. Who wants to stay the damn same? Not me. Also, you have what I like to call false prophets. False prophets are people, you got to be careful of these. False prophets are people who will come around you and act like they're on the same page as you, but they're really not. They're really not ready to be on the page that you're on. They think they are, but they're not ready. You got to be careful of those people too, because they disguise themselves as people that's ready to go to the next level with you, and they're not. How do you identify false prophets in your life? I'm going to say false allies, not prophets. That's the wrong word. False allies. False allies, everything you say, they totally say the same thing. Everything you say is me too. Oh, for real, me too. Everything. They never have another opinion about anything. They never disagree with anything you say, ever. They never really have anything to add to the transition. It's almost like they're leeches in a sense. They want to feed off of your energy. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. They will disguise themselves as people that's on the same journey as you. And the truth is, they want to be on the same journey, but they haven't really done all the necessary work to move to the next level. So they will kind of be like with a veil over their face trying to go along the ride with you. I don't know can you just let me know if I'm making sense with what I'm saying here? You're going to have people around you like that too. It's the complete opposite of a hater. It's the complete opposite of a hater. A hater is a person that's jealous of you. This other person envies you and wants to be you. And instead of doing their own self-work, they will attach themselves to what you got going on, hoping that they can just glide along the ride. But they will not glide along. If you're not careful, they'll hold you stagnant because they haven't done the self-work. So when it's time to make the big hurdles in your life, when it's time to make those big hurdles in your life, they will be the people that will have you procrastinating and stuck. You got to be careful with those people. They're not bad people. They're people that are not ready. It's the total opposite of a hater. They want to be ready, but they skipped over a few steps. They skipped over a lot of steps. They still got a lot of hurt, pain, things they need to take care of, you know, with themselves, with people around them, financially, whatever it may be. And they will try to glide along with you. Let me give you just a really simple example of this. And this might be a silly example, but it's the simplest example I can give. So you have a groupie, what we call a groupie. You got some groupies that's really up there, okay? They know how to get in all the latest parties, around, come to town. They get invited backstage. They already got tickets. They know everybody. You know, groupie type club, you know, outdoor chick with her, right? Go everywhere. They try to be her best friend. They can't. Okay, I think I'm gonna go to another dead space real quick as I'm driving. So hold on a second. Are you all here?